Yo, let me know if y'all can hear me. Fast lane, what's up? Let me know how this how I sound and everything. I want to make sure that everything is smooth before I end up before I really start diving into everything. I'm doing this from Streamyard, so bear with me. I'm trying to make sure that everything is smooth and I'm not too loud or I'm not too low. Like let me know how everything sounds. All right. Cars Boy 95, what's up? All good, y'all say? So loud and clear. All right. First time. Yeah, so it's been a good minute, man. Like it's been the last time I streamed was like November of last year, so it's been a good minute. Excuse the background noise. As soon as I start streaming, that's when it wants to get loud all of a sudden. But man, how y'all doing tonight, man? Like it's been a good minute. Um, I'm using the microphone that I use to record my videos, the Blue Yeti microphone. So, because the last time I streamed when I was doing streams last year, I was streaming through my PlayStation. So I was using my gaming headset and everything, and I sounded like shit. So, um, hopefully this is a higher quality type stream. That was the goal of setting up StreamYard. Uh, J Stop Motion, what's going on, man? Trust me, I'm gonna dive into yeah, I had to use. I think this is the perfect picture to use, because obviously I'm gonna dive into the whole Talladega deal, and we could talk about whatever y'all want to talk about as well. But Talladega, I'm gonna talk about Talladega, and it's gonna lead into a rant about the Gen 7 car, probably, most likely. Um, so yeah. So y'all saying that I sound good, so that's what's up. So just letting everybody file in real quick. First stream that you call for me. Damn, really? That's shocking because I thought I seen you in my other streams before. Okay, so I'm about to go ahead and get started, man. So I'm glad y'all doing good. So yes, to tackle a little bit more about StreamYard, like yeah, so I I'm not gonna become a regular streamer or anything like that. I just wanted to deliver a much better quality stream to you guys whenever I do go live, because doing that shit on the PlayStation was not good. Like I said, I sounded like crap compared to this. So, and then I can kind of, whenever some news break out about NASCAR, like some big time news or NASCAR 25 news, which funny enough, we got Dev Diary number 4 today. I might talk a little bit about that today as well. So, um, yeah, so I'm gonna stream every couple of weeks. I don't want to become somebody that's gonna stream every day or every week. Um, in terms of my next video, I know I've been kind of slow with it lately. Um, Life gets in the way, and not to mention, I'm just gonna be real. Like I be tired, man. So I be tired. So sometimes it's just me being lazy. I ain't gonna lie, but I actually just finished doing the recording for the next video, and all I gotta do now is just edit. So yeah, so we can finally get into Talladega. Um, so Talladega was what I expected. Going into the race, I actually didn't catch the race live. I had to work that day, but I set it to record and I came home and I wasn't even all that excited. Like my dad, he called me up that day. He was like, "Yeah, you excited to watch Talladega?" I'm like, Not really, because it's not good racing." So and I told him that I was like, "Man, this car has ruined not just short tracks and road courses, but it's ruined the play races as well." So I was just telling him like, "Man, I'm not really looking forward to this," because and that's shocking because Talladega, man, like for so many years, like not just me, but every NASCAR fan would anticipate this race. Most NASCAR fans. I know there's some fans out there that hate restricted play racing, but yeah, like Talladega used to be up there in terms of like most anticipated race of the year. Both Talladega races and both Daytona races. Now it's kind of like you just shrug your shoulders and be like, whatever. The fact that I'm looking more forward to like I bring on Texas. Like it's gotten to that point that I'm looking forward to Texas now. Uh it's just crazy, man. So Talladega kind of sucked. Also, Bell almost flipping when he wasn't up to speed was very concerning. Yeah, he hit that. The fact that he almost flipped, and then of course the impact that he took when he hit that wall. I don't understand why that wall is sticking out like that, but they just broke the news like I think yesterday that they're gonna finally adjust that wall so it won't be like kicked out anymore. Because I don't know why they had it like that for so long. It's kind of stupid. Oh, Chrome Diesel in here. What's up, man? These cars have too much drag. Yeah, so going back to Talladega, it's exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Gridlock, fuel saving, even though the fuel saving wasn't too egregious this time around. So that was good, but you couldn't go anywhere. The final 15 laps, usually like during the final 15 laps of a Talladega race, you're kind of sitting there, your palms are sweating and everything, your heart is racing. I didn't feel that compared to the Xfinity race. Like I did not feel that for the Cup race, and because I knew that it was just gonna be a surge back and forth between uh, the front row, and that's exactly what it was. I was a little not frantic, but like I was like, because Larson was up there. If you guys don't know, like Larson's my uh, driver I root for. So with him being up there, I was like, okay, maybe he can get this. So I was a little on edge, but in terms of like hoping to see a good finish, I was like, man, ain't nothing about to happen. So it was exactly what I expected, and it's not doing good on the Jeff Gluck poll right now. Um, I think it's I think more people voted no of was it a good race, and that is crazy because Talladega typically doesn't get um a negative review. I think the 2018 fall Talladega race, um, when Stewart-Haas Racing broke away from the field, I think that was like the last one that had like a very negative vote. Uh, what's up, Chase? TPS, what's going on, man? Two questions. One, should the Truck Series return to Iowa Speedway and Pikes Peak? Two, if Daniel Suarez doesn't perform all that well, do you think Xfinity or trucks will be a better option for him? Um, to answer that first question, hell yeah, the Truck Series should return to Iowa and Pikes Peak. Now I don't know. I gotta check on is Pikes Peak even still? I gotta check up on that track. I haven't really dug in too much into that track. Like, is it like the health of the track and everything? So I gotta look into that. But I mean, I seen some old races there from when they was still going there, when NASCAR was still going there. But I would definitely. I wish they can. I was a little disappointed that they didn't add Iowa to the truck and um the truck schedule. So, and then Daniel Suarez, yeah, I think if he ends up losing his ride at Trackhouse, which is kind of looking likely, yeah, I think he's gonna be a truck or Xfinity lifer. I don't know what team. It wouldn't surprise me. It would seem like he'll fit with Colic Racing, you know, if I had to guess. But you never know. He might, reunite with Joe Gibbs in the Xfinity series or so. But we got to see how Suarez performs for the rest of the year. So far, it's not looking good. He is on the hot seat, so we just got to see how he continues to do throughout the season. Once the 60 and the two, once the 60 and the two were on the front row after pit stops, you knew one of them was going to win. Exactly. Like pit stops should not be like at Talladega. Pit stops should not determine like who's going to win the race. And you can't drive from 20th to first like what Dale Senior did in 2000. You can't maneuver. And it's been frustrating going on social media all week and just seeing and hearing, what's people are like saying. Um, you got people posting like, well, yeah, they were at least they didn't conga line around the top for like a good portion of the race. And it's like, yeah, like I don't have a problem when they do that. The only time I have a problem when they train race at the top of the track or train race in general um is when they do it towards the end of the race. When you got when everything is on the line. I hate when they do it then. Like it's kind of like what they did at 2006 Talladega in the fall race where, Junior and Jimmy got wrecked. Like they raced hard throughout that entire race and then they trained at the top for like the last 20 or 30 laps of the race. And it's like, why are you doing this now when everything is on the line? So that pisses me off when they do it. That or when they do it throughout the entire race, like the 2013 Daytona 500, when they train race for like 80% of the race. Um, but yeah, they gotta do something with these cars. I don't. They've made minor changes to like the short tracks and road courses when it comes to this car. They haven't done anything to this car for the plate races though. It's the same package. I think besides adding like a bar or something like that, some type of like um thing on the car to keep them from flipping, which is not going to accomplish anything by the way. These guys are going to flip, man. I mean, it's like what Denny Hamlin said years ago, man. Like you can't stop these cars from flipping. You can remove grass, you can add, these little pieces to the car. Like you're not going to stop these guys from flipping. So they need to stop doing that and just face facts. Like you're not gonna stop it. So um it's too much drag on these cars. They gotta take drag out of the car, and they gotta like what I will do is that I will remove like I think these spoilers are like 8 inches right now. I will remove like 4 inches of the spoiler, remove the diffuser, and um believe it or not, lower the horsepower because right now I think they're running like 550 horsepower or something like that with these cars. And that's the reason why they got these big ass spoilers and everything because they're trying to keep these cars from going 215 miles per hour. So they got these big ass spoilers and everything to keep the cars from like under that 200 mile per hour range. But so I would like lower the horsepower and then take downforce out of the cars, so that way, reduce drag. So that way these guys um can actually race. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. um yeah, Eldon Sawyer, dumbass, talking about 67 lead changes, 23 different leaders. That's a bunch of bullshit. Um and that's shocking coming from him because he's a racer. So you would think he would understand like what's a good race. Like he sounds just like Steve O'Donnell and the rest of these guys that don't um that doesn't they all they do is like look at metrics. That's all they do. If they see that, metrics are high, like the metrics are like, 67 lead changes, we had 23 different leaders. We don't have to change anything. Like this race doesn't pass the eye test. Like Daytona Talladega doesn't pass the eye test right now. Now people are going to say like, well, they was four wide. They were saving fuel. And I'm sorry, when you're like, I don't care if they're four wide, they're not pushing. Now compare that to 2012, the 2012 Fall Talladega race when they were four deep with like a few laps to go. That's intense because they were actually pushing, like they were like putting it all out there. When they're four wide like this, like what you see in the picture right now, that's not, that doesn't get me excited. They, Fox and all them, they'll show like, excuse me, their throttle trace, and they're doing like 50, 70% throttle. They're saving fuel. Like, so I don't that don't, that doesn't get me excited at all. What's up, JC? JC, not Matt the Better Dedo. What's going on? Man, it's good to see a lot of y'all showing up, man. Because I thought when I went live, I thought nobody wasn't gonna show up. I ain't gonna lie, I get nervous every time I go live because I be thinking that, man, is anybody gonna show up? um, Busher has been my favorite driver since 2019. I like Chris Busher. I hope that he's like him and Ryan Priest are carrying Roush right now, but meanwhile, Brad Keselowski is 30 of something in points, unfortunately. I hate that Brad Keselowski is having the season that he's having, man. I don't know if it's, his crew chief or if it's him or if it's a combination of things, but they just do not have the speed this year. They've been racked out a couple of times too, but they just don't got the speed as well. Not Matt the Benedetto said, and what pisses me off more is that you got people like Jeff Burton and Steve Letarte say there's nothing wrong with this current racing, and Kenny Wallace is saying you didn't like it because it's no wrecks. I'm gonna get into that in a minute because that please don't get me started with that. I'm gonna dive into it anyway though. That stupid underbody is why this is happening. NASCAR fundamentally failed at making this race car. Yeah, it's like I'm trying not to lose hope in the Gen 7, but they haven't made any significant changes to it. They've made like some minor changes. They removed like a few. They did something to the diffuser to where like they made some adjustments to it. They did a test like a year and a half ago, and they were supposed to get rid of shifting, and they never did it. So they didn't do that. They don't want to add horsepower. They don't want to try groove tires. I'm down for anything. Let's start trying some things. That's the thing that's so frustrating right now is that NASCAR, everything is just at a standstill right now. Like nobody doesn't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything to the cars. And the frustrating thing is that they keep saying, we're all ears. Like, you know, we're listening, like we're listening to the fans, the drivers, the crew chiefs, everything. Like, and then they've been saying this for the past couple of years, and they haven't done shit. And it's like that's the thing that's frustrating. So I don't know, man. Like it's just people are fed up. Like it's not a good time to be a NASCAR fan right now. The past four races hasn't been all that great. The season overall has been kind of meh. When they made a decision not to change anything with the car and the championship format, you knew that this was going to be like a status quo year. Like nothing has surprised me. Like we're in for more bad races than good ones for these next 28 weeks. And I hate to sound negative, but that's just, we got what we got for the rest of the year. Now you just hope that these guys, NASCAR and these guys they start brainstorming and they can come up with a couple of ideas to, you know, improve the racing, like start scheduling some tests. And don't take no three cars out there because that's not gonna really give you a true indication of like what that change, like whatever package you're testing. You need like 15 to 20 cars out there. So whenever you do schedule some testing, get like 20 drivers out there, man. Um, yeah, they need the road courses. Even the mile and a half is starting to drop down in quality. So it's so bad right now, and I hate to be negative. It's depressing, but it's the truth. I'm not going to be like Kenny Wallace and Jordan Bianchi and Jeff Burton and Mamba Smith and act like everything is all good because it's not. Um, I'm so bad with the chat. Oh damn! I'm not even paying attention. AJ the Groundhog with the $10 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. I just feel sad about how NASCAR has gone over the past years. Way too gimmicky. Gimmicky, I must admit. The cars have no soul except for the 5 and 24. I can't take the races on seriously. It's a lot of you're not alone, man. Like you're not alone at all. Like a lot of people feel this way. This is a spec car. You can't get creative because everybody's got the same thing. So it's pretty unfortunate. But yeah, groove. Let's try groove tires. Like I remember Denny Hamlin bringing that up a couple years ago. Um, they're not going to take the taper space off. So um, if they can get it to like 800 horsepower, because these cars are capable of making 1,000 horsepower, if they take the taper space off, and that would be fucking epic. But they're not going to do it. So I'm trying to be realistic. Um, I'm tired of hearing about cost savings. Like these teams are getting more money. With this new TV contract, they're getting more money. So this whole thing about cost savings, I'm tired of hearing it, man. Like, please stop mentioning that. Using less fuel is good for the environment. Talladega is so eco-friendly. Four deep behind Tony Stewart and Kenseth. Yeah, that finish was so good, man. Well, it was intense, and then the whole field exploded. Do you notice Bell got a little bit of air when he was heading towards the inside wall? He could have went over if it wasn't a restart crash. I got to go back and look at it. Um, I just know that he took a hard hit, and like I said, that wall sticking out is not it's not good. And I'm glad that they're addressing that. Excuse me. I'm glad that they're addressing that. Finally, after I don't know how long. I forgot how long it's been like that. Not only Kozlowski, but also Ryan Blaney just could not catch a break. At least Ryan Blaney got the speed. Like Ryan Blaney, he's been like the fastest car this year. Like he's been right there with Larson and Byron and you know the cream of the crop. It's just that he's had a lot of bad luck. He's had the most bad luck out of out of the fast guys. So uh, whenever Brad retires, who do you think will replace him? By the way, what's up addicted to speed? Who will replace Brad Keselowski? Um, I haven't really thought about that because Brad Keselowski he's 41 years old if I'm not mistaken. Um, that's a good question. I don't think they'll put anybody that's in the Ford doesn't really have anybody in the pipeline that's at least promising. I mean, some people probably say Sam Mayer, but I'm still I'm still a little iffy on Sam Mayer. Sheldon Creed hasn't won it. He hasn't won an Xfinity race yet. I'm trying to think about whose contract is coming up, coming to an end soon. Um, I'll get back to that because that's a good question. Austin Dillon back in back to back top tens. uh, Rack Avenue said, um, "Congratulations. Now continue to rack off more top tens." Like I said, I don't hope for Austin Dillon to run like shit. It's just that he's always ran like shit throughout most of his career, and it's kind of expected to this point. Then when he ends up having a good race, like Richmond last year, he wants to do some of the most scummiest shit ever and drive 3, 4 tenths back and wreck somebody. So yeah, Gen 7 is good on mountain and a half tracks, horrid and hit or miss on other tracks. Yeah, I would prefer single file racing over the current Gen 7 Super Speedway package. So going back to the single file train thing that people have been talking about on Twitter, because it's been people. I don't know if people. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if they're trying to play devil's advocate or what, but like at least when they was running the first of all, running in a train is not a package type of issue. Like they've been running train like they've been train racing since the Gen 4 days. It's not because of the car of why they train race. Like they did it in the Gen 4 car, they did it in the COT, they did it in the Gen 6, and they did it early on in the Gen 7 car. That's by running in the line is by choice. It's not because of a race package thing. And then, in the past, before this car came out, at least you can make moves like after people can just drop down at any point and just like start heading to the front. With this, you can't do nothing with the Gen 7 car. So I'm tired of seeing people post those pictures and videos of like people in the past when they was train racing because you're not really saying anything when you by posting those. Like, do you want to see this that's on your screen right now? Like, yeah, it looks cool, like they're full wide, but they're not pushing. Like, especially when the TV, when the commentators are saying that they're saving fuel, like you just shrug your shoulders. Um, yeah, we should not be shifting at Martinsville and Bristol. Yeah, like it's so many things they can do with this car, and they just haven't done it yet. Like, let's at least like I'm not like some of the ideas that's been thrown out there. It may not work, but let's at least try. Let's not try just one thing either. Let's try a multitude of things and see what works. They're still trying to attract new OEMs, but where the fuck are they? Um, it's been a lot of Dodge. So it seemed like Dodge is going to come back next year in the truck series, which I'm really excited about. It's not confirmed, but it's looking very, very, very likely. And then it's been some rumblings about them returning to the Cup Series in 2027. So that's exciting. Um, but nothing isn't confirmed yet. Things could change. That's still like a year and a half out. So until NASCAR and Dodge themselves end up coming out and saying that, hey, we entering the sport in 2027, um let's not try to get too excited about that one just yet. Um but it's nice that they're joining the truck series next year though, most likely. What are the next four races do you see Christopher Bell winning? I could see your prediction of him winning seven races this year happening. My bad if I read that wrong. Happening three more in the regular season and one that's future in the chase. Um, I could see Christopher Bell winning this weekend. I mean, Christopher Bell, he's one of those type of drivers that's grown into um being able to win anywhere. He can win at a road course, he can win at a super speedway, short tracks, mile and a halves, 2 miles, 2 mile tracks, or well, it's only one 2 mile track now, but Michigan, but he can win anywhere. So I think he'll probably get two more in the regular season. I do hope he wins seven races just so I can be right when it comes to that prediction. But yeah, he got a little streaky and then he kind of slumped a little bit. And now he's starting to, it's been kind of up and down since his little three race winning streak. But I do think he's gonna win um a couple more times this year though. 2015 at least had Kens of Powell driving Logano. uh if plate racing ain't for flips, wrecks, and total eye candy, not sure why people keep tuning into it after like 25 years. It's a silly excuse for racing and just meant to look cool. Um, I miss the plate racing from the 2000s where it took more skill, but I will also love, and they never gonna do this, but I miss the days where they had no plates on the cars. That was also kind of cool as well. And the slingshot was actually a thing. You go back and watch like the 1979 Daytona 500, and it's fun to watch when they didn't have no plates on the cars, and it was just they were unrestricted at Daytona and Talladega. It was crazy, but the cars got faster over the years, and if they was to take the plates off now, they would be doing like 260 or probably higher than that. Um, it for so long, plate racing has been a big attraction because of the large packs and um it's just a different type of racing. But the thing that NASCAR needs to be careful with is that they keep adding too many races. They're trying to add more races like that to the schedule. Like look what they did to Atlanta. Now Atlanta is different, but they're trying to create pack racing. And NASCAR, they've been trying to do this shit since 2018 when they tested that fucking 550 package out at the All Star race. It's like they had this goal in mind of like, let's try to create pack racing at all of our mile and a halves, and let's turn some of our mile and a half tracks into a hybrid super speedway. And it's they've been trying to do this shit for so long, and that's not a good long term uh solution. So I don't know, man. Like it's frustrating thinking about that because um it's like NASCAR never learns. Like, okay, so you go back to 2000 in New Hampshire. They put plates on the cars, and guess what? The race was shit. One person led every single lap. So you would think that, okay, we're never putting plates on the cars again. Fast forward like 16 years later or something like that, they end up putting plates on the cars in 2015. And they reduced, the cars went from being like 900 something horsepower to 750. They lowered the horsepower again to 550. and it's just like they don't learn. Like they just continue to make the same mistakes. Like keep trying and expecting different, you know, results, and it ends up being the same thing because these guys that's running the sport are clowns right now. It should be a wait fast lane 46. My bad if I'm not reading y'all names. I'm like I said, I'm not the most professional streamer. I'm trying my best. Fast lane 46. It should be a wake up call to NASCAR that numerous drivers keep saying how fun the Xfinity cars are, but they rarely have anything good to say about the Cup car. Yeah, it's funny when you got drivers in the booth like doing Xfinity races, and they be saying like, "Man, I wish we can pack air and get the guy in front of us loose. We can't do that on Sundays." I remember Ryan Blaney and Joy Logano was talking about that when they was calling a race one time, and you could just hear the frustration in their voices. They like, man, it would be nice to do that on Sundays. But I guess I could dive into because I'm getting on the tangent about these cars. Um, I want to address the shields. So give me 1 second. Uh, Let me know if y'all can. There we go. Okay, so I want to address some of these clowns. I kind of mentioned a little bit. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but uh I don't know what Kenny Wallace was on this week, man. Um, this dude was. It's almost like he was trolling. But before I get into that, let me read off a couple more of these chats real quick. I'm behind. The Gen 7 car is a spec car. The previous gens had character. Gen 4 cars actually fought like warriors. Hell yeah. I agree. Um, is it bad that I'd rather watch tandem racing over whatever next gen super speedway racing has become? At least with tandems, it was still interesting, even if people hated it. I hated tandems too, but if I had to choose between tandems and Gen 7 racing, give me tandems. And I was not a fan of tandems. And I'm still not a fan of tandems to this day. I know a lot of people look back on it now and be like, because it's crazy how people be trying to sit there and say, like, man, I missed the tandems. But I remember during that time period, there was a lot of people that wanted it gone. Now people are saying, like, man, bring tandems back. Like Kyle Busch just mentioned the other day that he was on DBC and he was like, yeah, like my favorite type of play racing is tandem racing. I'm like, damn, really? So that's kind of shocking. Uh Ross Chastain did the most patriotic shit in NASCAR history, cock blocking the entire Toyota line in the American flag car. People were saying that I think what Denny Hamlin was saying that he should have been penalized for that, like black flag for like swerving and blocking. Uh, mm-mm. Like I understand Denny's frustration, but let's not try to penalize for every little thing, man. Not only the cost saving, they're just trying to get a new OEM, but I think I read that one early. I'm sorry. I think maybe Matt the Benedetto can replace Brad Keselowski. Maybe says Nicholas. I I like Matt the Benedetto, but I think he's gonna be driving mid to lower tier equipment for the rest of his career. Unfortunately, I'll be shocked if Keselowski. I mean, Keselowski seemed like the type of guy that would give him a shot, but I don't know, man. Like I just think that Matt the Benedetto time has passed. I mean, he continues to carry equipment and bring it to good finishes and everything. And I remember what he was doing in that Rackley Ward truck a couple years ago. Made the chase, and um, he was doing pretty damn good in that truck. And I was hoping that team would have stuck with him, and they could have continued to build that team up, but everything just kind of fell apart and they kind of went their separate ways. So that was unfortunate. But talking about Kenny Wallace though, and the rest of these clowns. So, man, first I was listening to the teardown, because Jordan Bianchi, he was talking about, yeah, this is like people forget that Talladega, not every Talladega race is gonna be exciting. And I'm like, true, like that's true. But like, okay, so he went on to say, um, I went back and watched 1994 Talladega race, and one guy dominated the race. And okay, that's because that driver was most likely the fastest car in the field. And that was during a time where like you really had to like, you know, handle and everything. So yeah, the dominant car led a good chunk of the race. Like I go back and look at the 1990 Daytona 500, Dale Senior, and then not to mention you can put that car that was dominating the race like in 20th, and they can drive right back up through the field. You put somebody that was first and put them in 20th, like on a restart, they're not driving back up through the field. That's the difference between today's play racing and play racing in the past. You can't do shit. And it's like people like Kenny Wallace and Michael Waltrip and them, they don't recognize that. And the thing about it, these guys are racers. So I would like to think that they understand, you know, what we're seeing. Like, especially like y'all used to drive race cars at one point. So how do y'all not understand? Like, you got Jeff Burton saying that I don't understand like what's so bad about this plate racing that we're seeing now. Like it gives me a headache just hearing what these guys are saying, man. Like it's frustrating. Um, yeah, so Kenny Wallace, like he put this tweet out. He said Talladega was one of the best NASCAR Cup races I've watched there in a long time. Minimum wrecking and a photo finish between Austin Cindric and Ryan Preece. And it just felt like he was trolling, but he wasn't, because Kenny Wallace has a history of being a NASCAR shill. Um, and then like it was one tweet that I kind of I responded to, and he was responding to a fan saying, "Oh, you mad because you didn't see any wrecks?" And I'm just sitting there looking like, dude, that's not the issue. That's not the issue, man. Um, Jordan Bianchi, I know I'm bouncing all over the place. It's just like Jordan Bianchi, Jeff Burton. I mean, these guys have come out in full force this week. Michael Waltrip put out a tweet. Him and Mama Smith was on a plane or something like that, talking about how intense the last 10 laps of the race was. Get the fuck out of here. So these guys are just they're delusional. That's all you can say about these guys. And it's funny because it feels so similar to last year when Logano won the championship. And you got all these industry people coming out and trying to make it seem like it's nothing wrong with the championship format. You guys are complaining for no reason. And it's just like I was losing my mind that week. And that kind of sparked the idea of making that Shields video, because it's irritating, man. Like these people are you can't take them seriously. Um, let's see. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Uh, my favorite plate race was the 2023 Coke Zero 400. I'm trying to remember what happened in that race. Damn. How do I not remember that race? I mean, I miss Gen 6 play racing. I miss Gen 4 play racing. But I'll take Gen 6 play racing over what we got now. I feel like so you had a period doing Gen 6. It's like you had like three different types of uh not eras, but like so when the Gen 6 first came about, you kind of had that little deal to where like once you get to the league, all you got to do is just like swerve from lane to lane. That lasted from like 2013. I feel like the leader was a little bit too old, like OP. Like they was overpowered. You can put somebody like I don't know, Corey LaJoy in the 32 car up front, and he can just bounce from lane to lane and keep the lead. Um, so it feels like the leader was a little bit too OP, and then they had that package from like 20. They got better with it. The racing got a little bit better because drivers were starting to figure out like what they can do to generate runs and all that. And then you had the 2019 to 2021 um package where they were just getting these massive runs. And it kind of reminded me of the 2001 Wicker Bill package that they had, but except it was pretty damn egregious, man. It was egregious. I feel like the runs was like too big, like too big of a run. It looked like some arcade shit. Um, so if I had to choose, I love the Wicker Bill package, and then I'll probably rank the '03 to like '07 package where you had to like I like for drivers to work for their run. Like you got to work a little hard to get your run and generate a run. Like it shouldn't just be like pulling up on somebody with ease, like how you be doing on the NASCAR heat games and shit. So at least Atlanta, you actually need to have a good handling car and can go anytime you want instead of being stuck, unable to make a move. Says not Matt the Benedetto. Yeah, I love Atlanta. Atlanta is based. Well, I love Atlanta for what it is. I still wish they would have kept it how it was um before the repave, or they could have turned Atlanta into a. They could have went back to pre '97 Atlanta. I would have liked that. NASCAR wanted parity, says Ethan. They'll do anything for entertainment. Yep, unfortunately. My point is though, play racing isn't even for people who are desperate for good racing. It caters to fans who don't take it seriously and all the other brands who want exposure. Yeah, it's to attract um that casual audience. That's why, for so long they've gotten the highest ratings, and because people are gonna it's not actual racing like like what some people say, and I can agree to a certain extent. um you got these big packs, you know it's it's easy to attract casual fans with that type of racing. So um i feel like I feel like every race needs to have one date. I still feel strongly about that. And that includes Daytona and Talladega. You go to Daytona once for the 500. You go to Talladega once, whether it's the spring or the fall. I think you would want to keep the spring race because the fall race doesn't do all that great in attendance and ratings. You go to Atlanta once. I just feel like going to every racetrack once makes every race feels it'll make every race feel more special than what it does now. Like especially when you go to a track twice and it's not a good track, and you just kind of sit and looking like, man, not only we got to go to this track, but we got to go to this track twice. Like so, and we seen proof that if you go to a racetrack, um, once, like we seen some racetracks lose a date. They gain. It ends up working out for them. They end up doing better in attendance, ratings. Like Michigan lost a date years ago, and I've been to Michigan twice now, and every time I went, uh, it's damn near sold out. Well, I think they have sold out one of the races I went to, but like it's a huge crowd every time I go. NASCAR wanted parity from the Gen 7 SMT data. That's another thing. I'm glad you brought up SMT data, Ethan. That's another thing that they need to eliminate, man. They need to like teams themselves can have access to the SMT data, but it shouldn't be shared amongst everybody in the garage. So I feel like that's another reason why the racing has taken a dip because people can see what that another driver can see what the fast guy is doing, and then all they got to do, it's not as simple, but they know what they're doing, and they get in the car and they'll try to replicate that. So it tightens up the competition. You already got this car that's a spec car that you can't really do anything to it. Everybody has the same thing. Everybody tires are wearing out the same way. So you add that plus the SMT data, and it just creates, it creates a bad product. Like it makes it harder to pass, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's another thing. I think we're overlooking that too. Like SMT data needs to be removed. Like it doesn't need to be shared. J Stop Motion. How many wins do you see Kyle Larson having by the time he calls it a career? Realistically, I could see him getting at least 50 to 60 career wins and past 20 still in the all-time win list. Um, I think, you know, if he keeps it up, I think he can get to like between 50 and 55. I think he can pass Tony Stewart. Um, Give me one sec, y'all. Laptop dying. Had to plug it up. Um, yeah, I can see him getting between 45, not 45, between 50 and 55 career wins if he continues at the pace that he's at. Um, so especially if he can stop giving away races because he has a tendency of doing that. Um, oh, $5 super chat from Motar. Thank you so much. I hope I say your name correctly. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. I'm really bad with names. Jim France needs to sell the company. There's no coming back from this. I I agree. Um, well, if NASCAR can sell it to the right, you know, uh person, whatever, it can probably start going the right direction. But yeah, I heard they was trying to actually sell NASCAR a couple years ago and nothing ever came from it. I think back in like 2021 or 2018, sometime around that time period. So, but yeah, I going back to Kenny Wallace for a second, all them like these people are delusional. They're clowns. Um, I think Daniel Trotter, and I like Daniel Trotter, but and I like Jordan Bianchi. I like his, I respect him, his report and everything, but I usually don't agree with a lot of what he has to say. But it's just these people are just we have a problem, and it's like it's a big obvious problem, and it's like people are trying to pretend that everything is all good when really it's not. So um I mean, he was on one, man. I mean, he was putting out tweets left and right. I think not yesterday, but a couple of days ago, and it was just infuriating. um I don't know, man. Kenny Wallace is a clown. His takes are pointless. Exactly. Kenny Wallace clearly hasn't remembered that he's been through many different eras of super speed racing to where they could make runs and pass, but needed to have a good handling car. Exactly. Like, dude, you was part of the 2000 fall Talladega race that's praised by everybody. Like, you pushed Dale Senior to the win. Like, it's just crazy. 'Cause I bet you if he was to race right now, if he was to do a one race in the Gen 7 car, you know, he will have a different opinion from what he got now. So they penalized drivers for holding up traffic in Martinsville, but not Talladega last weekend. I don't think they penalized drivers at Martinsville. If you're in the way, they give you the blue flag. And I guess if you don't get out the way after a certain amount of time, they penalize you. I don't want to see no black flag for trying to block after you come off a pit road. It's not the smartest thing to do, but if somebody ends up wrecking the field, if it becomes like a common problem, I think NASCAR should just try to talk to the drivers instead of trying to make up a rule saying that, hey, we're going to black flag you for trying to block the field when you come off a pit road. But I just don't want no more rules, man. We already have enough rules as it is. And I don't want it coming down to NASCAR to make that call because this is NASCAR we're talking about. So are we really gonna, continue to have to put up with more rules than we already have now? Like, I'm good. As a Hamlet fan, after seeing what Ross did at Talladega, I'm not upset what he did. That's part of racing. Yeah, it's not like I said, it's not the smartest move, but you gotta let's not try to overreact here and you know come up with black flag somebody for doing something like that. What do you think of Daniel Hemrick to the six? I kind of wanted to see Daniel Hemrick be a truck lifer. Now, to his defense, he never really got a quality ride in the Cup Series. I mean, he was with RCR, but RCR hasn't been shit in Cup in a long time. Um, I mean, Kyle Busch is struggling with them right now, so that tells you all you need to know. Um, I don't know. Like, I feel like if he was to go to Roush, he'll probably be third tier. He'll be third behind Chris Buescher and Ryan Priest, without a doubt. Um, Daniel Hemrick has talent, but I don't know if he's a Cup caliber driver. I know it sounds kind of unfair to say because he's been the organizations he's driven for, they haven't been the best. So um but Roush is not the best either right now. They're on the up and up, but they're still like that B minus team. So um if this was current super speedway racing, excuse me. If this was current super speedway racing, Dale Hart would have never been able to go from 20th to first within the last 10 laps of the Western 500. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, what's your home tracks? I explore a lot going to races. Um, um, outside of Chicagoland, Chicagoland. I can't really think of nothing. Didn't they close Rockford? They closed Rockford Speedway. I heard that's like not that far from me when it existed. Um, I know. I know the Iceberg is very familiar with that track. 'Cause he used to live in Illinois. Um, yeah, Chicagoland is pretty much it. That's all I can really think of right now. I only been to four races. Only been to four races. I've been to Michigan twice. I've been to IRP, and I've been to the Brickyard 400, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, if y'all curious about what four races I plan to attend this year, I'm going to the Indy 500 in a couple of weeks. I'm very excited about that because that's going to be a hell of an experience being surrounded by 300,000 people, seeing race cars go up to damn near 240 miles per hour. My tickets came in the mail a couple weeks ago or like last week, and they look very nice. So I'm going to that track or that race event. Michigan again, which is like a week after the Indy 500, I think, or 2 weeks after that. We're still trying to see if we're gonna do the Chicago Street Course. Trying to see about that, and um, we're gonna do the Brickyard 400 again. So those are the four races that we're trying to do. Eventually, we're gonna start. Me and my brother, we're gonna start to go to other races that's not in the Midwest. I would like to eventually go to Bristol one day. Hopefully, when the cars are actually racing good again. Obviously the Daytona 500. I got a lot of races on my bucket list. I would like to go to see the Rolex 24 one day, or experience that event. It's a lot of races on my bucket list. Oh, your NASCAR Shields video aged so well. Yeah, they like I said, it feels very similar to last year when Logano won the championship. It's just these people look pathetic. What is Kenny Wallace smoking right now? Who fucking knows? Um, his ass be tweaking. Kenny Wallace said last year that the summer Bristol race was great. I muted Kenny Wallace. I can't take him anymore. Nobody said we wanted Rex to have a good race. We just want people to be able to make moves and make runs without being stuck in line. Bingo, but they don't, they uh I don't know. It's like the industry looks at everybody as just like a bunch of drunk race fans, like a bunch of dummies that watch race cars go around the track. Um, which is not the case. It's a lot of smart race fans out there. We know what the fuck is going on. When we watch a race. Um, so it feels like the people in the industry just that's how they view us. So it's irritating. Intense 10 laps of commercials. Few more weeks with Fox and then we're done. Let's see. Man, I'm behind. Damn, I'm behind. I'm not that far behind. Uh I do want to talk about because I'm already an hour into this. I want to talk about two more things because I've ranted about the car. I ranted about these shields and the Gen 7 car at play races and all that. Uh, we got some NASCAR 25 news. I'll get to that in a minute. Kind of want to give my opinion on that. And whenever we get more news about this game, I'll go live and talk about it and show off like what they give my opinion on like what they showed off. Uh, didn't really take that. Didn't really have much to see with the latest Dev Diary, but I'll get to that in a minute. Trying to catch up on the chat. Oh man, the 2019 to 2021 plate racing was so damn good. It was. I just feel like the runs was a little bit too egregious. Like I said, um, 2021 to 2019 super speed racing was peak. Nothing can compare to the 2007 Daytona 500. Oh yeah, I just realized something. I can, I can. I'm not even paying attention. So I'm doing this on stream. I'm using Streamlab. I can put you guys' comments up on the stream. Damn, man, I should have been doing that a long time ago. Yeah, that's one of the great features of using this website to stream from. So yeah, I can just look at that. That's cool as hell. Um, and like I said, I first heard of Streamyard when Iceberg he was doing one of his uh streams, his all season streams, and I think I was like, damn, Streamyard. He mentioned Streamyard, and I ended up looking into it, and I'm using the free version by the way. Damn, this is I'm not even paying attention, man. Um, let's see. Let me catch back up. Okay, so I really like Kenny Wallace, but that's just annoying. Ryan Priest flipped in that race. Oh yeah, the 2023 Coke 0400. Yeah, that's all I remember from that race. I ain't gonna even lie. And I think Ryan Blaney took a hard hit in that race as well. Um, I remember more the 2024 race than I do the 2023 race, but it's coming back to me now. Do you see what Kenny Wallace said about people saying Xfinity was better than Cup? I'm tired of talking about Kenny Wallace. Now, I'll say one more thing. He had a post saying that, oh, I'm not gonna take you seriously if you only got 17 followers. or something like that, if you only got like a little bit amount of followers, what that supposed to mean? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Because there's a lot of people. So what you gonna? So you only interact with people that has like a large following? Because it's a lot of people that got large followings and they say a lot of dumb shit. They don't got. They don't have the greatest. What I'm trying to say, like they're not. I don't know, man. Like it's just what he said sounded so dumb though. Uh, speed delta is too big. I heard Dale Jr. talking about this, by the way. The speed delta that Chrome Diesel just mentioned. Like when they qualify, they doing like 180 miles per hour, and then when they get into the race, they're doing like 196, 197. Um, that's a problem. Um, when NASCAR 25 releases, I'm gonna rank every NASCAR simulation game in the future. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Chase. T, what's up, man? Hey Elite, huge fan. Glad I could join the live stream. Man, I'm once again, I appreciate you guys so much coming out, man, because I was nervous going into the stream, man. Like I said, I really thought that nobody was gonna show up. I thought I'll be lucky to get like five of you guys in here, but I'm glad y'all showing out. Um, I appreciate it so much. I thank you guys so much for the super chats that y'all sent in so far. Um, I'm trying to hurry up and get to these chats real quick so I can talk a little bit more about a few more things real quick before I sign off out of here. Off topic, but NASCAR 25 looks really similar to 21 Ignition. I'm honestly thinking this game is going to be another crappy game. Okay, so let me switch over to this. Uh, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna let this video play while we talking about. I got it set to slow motion. So yeah, I didn't really get that much out of this dev diary. Um, they was talking about the presentation, and that's great. Um, I've been talking about how important presentation is, in NASCAR games, and that's something that's been missing since NASCAR Thunder 2004. And you want you want to feel immersed into the game, and instead of just popping into a race and that's it. So I'm glad they're putting a lot of emphasis into that because um that's important. Stuff like that is important. Now, with that being said, it's a few things that I kind of notice. Um, so the graphics, they do look like 21 Ignition. They do. Um, a lot of people. Let me just say this real quick. There's a lot of people that think that iRacing is gonna port basically what they got over to the console side. It doesn't work like that. Um, we're not getting iRacing on consoles if that's what people are thinking. Um, yes, it's elements of iRacing that they can implement. See, look at the graphics. This looks like NASCAR 21. Nice graphics, but you just hope it doesn't end up being like NASCAR Ignition, obviously. Um, look at that. I like that you're in the garage, and I don't know if you can drive through the garage. That'd be kind of cool. You can roll off pit road. You can see some AI right there. You can't really take that much away from it. You can see a little bit of the hood. Let me go back to that real quick. Uh, yeah, so the hood is kind of they got some things toggled off. You got the track map, so congratulations. Um, Congratulations, y'all already outdid NASCAR Ignition. Y'all got a track map in the game. Um, they probably got some things toggled off because the hood does look a little naked. Um, Look at this though. You don't got no mirror. The mirror is not working. So I don't know how old these builds are that they're showing, but you just hope that stuff like this is like addressed and ready to go, fixed before the game comes out. But we didn't really see any gameplay, and I'm eager to see some gameplay, man. Um, let's see. Yeah, but they just talked about, the sound and the spotters, and I didn't really take that much away from this dev diary, honestly. I'm ready for some gameplay. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. I'm just ready for some gameplay. It's cool that they focusing on presentation. The career mode sounds promising. I just want to start. I want to hear more about the game, obviously, and then because if you don't got the physics and the AI working, if those two things are not good, nothing else doesn't matter. Like if I see those two things are off, I probably won't even buy the game. So you gotta have those two things, you know, uh pretty solid. Let's see. Yeah, they was talking about the spotters and TJ Majors is in another NASCAR game. Like that's not really. I don't care about that. When Larson passes through, it will be a very sad day for me. Oh yeah, I forgot you don't like Larson, Carl's boy. I be seeing your tweets. um, should make it so only NASCAR officials have access to SMT data. Drivers shouldn't be able to improve how they drive by staring at a computer graph. Exactly. I just feel like that's that's part of the problem, man. Like of why the racing quality has kind of dropped. Um, I think Larson ends up with 54 wins and 3 titles. That would be nice. I don't see Larson staying in the sport long term. I know he's kind of hinted at that, for the past couple of years, but I think, sorry for the background noise. Um, yeah, he's hinted at that, but we'll see. I mean, I think if he's having a lot of success, I think if he's still winning a lot of races by like age 39 or age 40, I think he'll stay around, um, a little bit longer than expected. So we'll see. I know he wants to run dirt full time, and it's a lot of races he want to check off and championships he wants to win in the dirt world. Um, Larson's he's checking things off though, man. Doing the Indy 500 again this year, and hopefully he can have a better result. Hopefully he can get into the damn race because I'm starting to get nervous about that. Um, he's he's gonna be he's trying to race a V8 supercar soon, so he's checking a lot of things off, and it's fun to watch. Um, Trotter usually isn't a shield, but she was this week. Yeah. Trotter says she hopes Steve Phelps doesn't leave NASCAR. Are you kidding me? I have more of a problem with Steve O'Donnell, if anything, man. Um, I don't like Steve Phelps either. I mean, he's nowhere near as bad as Steve O'Donnell. Um, I don't know. Like I got mixed feelings on Steve Phelps. I don't dislike him, but I don't like him either. Steve O'Donnell's the one that I hate. I'm not gonna even lie. He's responsible for so many things that we have now. Hopefully, Junior's proposal for the championship is implemented. I'll definitely prefer a full season format, but damn, his idea is already better than the current clown show. Okay, so let me me put this on pause real quick because I'm all over the place. Okay, so um, that was something else I wanted to talk about. Like, I knew I forgot something. So yeah, I made a post on Twitter last night, and I guess a lot of people didn't catch wind of the Dale Jr. download because I didn't really see anybody talking about it. So I just made a post about it. I'm like, this is what Junior proposed as the championship format. And if we got to keep a postseason, because trust me, I'm team full season points. I want that. Dale Jr. said it's on the table, but it's a very low chance of it happening. So if we got to have a postseason, um, in NASCAR, I would like his idea. Um, I would like, you know, so he said 32 races, 32 or 33 races. And then whoever's the top four in the points by race 33 or 32, that's your championship four. They go on to the championship four. They got three races or three or four races to settle it between them. Whoever scores the most points out of the championship four by the final race is your champion. Winner you're in is eliminated. And I don't love it, but that's I don't mind that. I feel like that's a good compromise because you still get, your little championship round and all that shit. Your championship for um it's still not the most legitimate way to crown a champion, but they seem so hell bent on having a postseason. So if we can't have a full season points format, that's my vote. And another thing I'm tired of hearing is a full season points format is outdated. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like I disagree with that so much. Um, how can you say that? Like I look at F1. F1 has gone through a boom period over the past like half a decade. And guess what was in place? A full season points format. It's not like F1 implemented a playoff format and then all of a sudden people came flocking over to F1 because they had playoffs. And then you look at NASCAR. NASCAR, when they hit their boom period, guess what was in place? A full season points format. So, and then it's been proven time and time again that the playoffs doesn't do anything. You keep having these people saying that, oh, it's not exciting to have a full season points format. It's like what Dale Jr. said on DJD the other day. He was like, this is big boy racing, man. Like if somebody locks the title up, man, they deserve it. Like I know I sound like a broken record saying that, but damn, if they lock the title up a race uh before the last race, then so be it. Suck it up. Not everything is gonna come down to the fucking wire. When y'all watch the Super Bowl, y'all we seen blowouts plenty of times. Not every game, yeah, it's the biggest game of the season. Like everybody's tuning in. All these millions of people are tuning in. They ramp it up and everything. And guess what? A team ends up getting destroyed, and the other team just walks off with the Super Bowl title with ease. It was even a game. So you know that whole thing about a full season points format is outdated. Get the fuck out of here. NASCAR Pennzoil Series, yo, Elite. What up, man? Hope you having a good night, man. I hope all y'all having a good one. Hopefully everything's all good. Um, this year going by fast. It's May already. Nicholas, I like Kenny Walls, but unfortunately, most of the guys, Kenny and the rest of them who work for NASCAR, are a little on the biased side of things. And you don't have to come off like that. Talk about if you're a person that's part of the industry, because Dale Jr. doesn't come off like that. Who else? Jeff Gluck doesn't come off like that. Dale Jarrett. Um, these people don't come off like that. They don't kiss NASCAR's ass. So just because you're part of that, part of the industry and all that, that doesn't mean you got to, defend NASCAR. What proposal are you talking about? Um, well, I just explained it, but if you go on my Twitter, you'll see like what Dale Jr. was saying because I posted what he said last night. Larson said last year he plans on retiring in like 6 or 7 years, which is I don't know 6 or 7 now. Yeah, but plans could change. Plans can end up changing. Um, so we'll see. Um, let's see. Which driver would you be surprised to sneak into the final four without a win if that was ever to happen again, just like in 2014? With this current system, looking at this year, man, it's hard to say. Who's who's flying under the radar right now? I mean, it's so early in the season, it's hard to say. Uh I'll say Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher, he's that type of driver that's always laying in it's like in the background and laying in the weeds and everything. Oh, look who's in the chat. Damn, Darcy. So shout out to I hope I'm saying your name right. Darcy. Um Shout out to him because he's the one that made my channel logo and my banner as well when you end up going on my channel. So shout out to him. That's why it's a huge upgrade from what I made. Mine's look like complete dog shit of what I made, and I stuck with that shit for so many years. And Darksea, he must have recognized how ugly that looked, and he said, "You know what? Let me go ahead and make him a nice looking channel logo." So I appreciate that so much, Darksea, and everything else that you helped me out with. Really appreciate it, man. So what up though, man? Like I was kind of caught me off guard right there. Uh I have a dirt track near my town. Where you from, man? Oh, it's called never mind. It's called the Route 66 Speedway. Every time I hear it, I see Route 66, I just think about Cars for some reason. Cars the movie. Everyone show at least some love. I appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it so much. I know I'm all over the place, man. I'm gonna try not to go too long with the stream. I know y'all got things to do instead of hearing me, you know, talk. But I appreciate it so much. Outside of the Daytona 500, I'm about to catch up on these chats now. Um, outside of the chat, outside of the Daytona 500, which drivers do you see winning the remaining Crown Jewel races? I have Chase Briscoe for the 600, Hamlin for the Brickyard 400, and Hamlin for the Southern 500. Coke 600, I'm going to say Larson, and hopefully he's coming off a good finish. The Indy 500. The Brickyard 400. I'm gonna say Blaney. He was really fast there last year, and he kind of got screwed once Brad pulled down pit road, and they kind of let Larson pull up. They should have waved that restart off and had them re-choose. But you know, and this is coming from a Larson fan, so I'm not gonna be on that bias shit. But and then 7500, I'm gonna as long as Larson doesn't spin. Well, do I want to go with Larson for the 7500? He dominated that race last year. Um, Denny Hamlin hasn't really been all that fast at the mile and a halves and tracks that's a little over a mile or bigger this year. Like he's not terrible, but well, he was terrible at Vegas, but I don't know. But the Southern 500 is so far away, they might find some speed. So we'll see. Um, so I'll probably say I'll go with Chase Briscoe. I think he might repeat for the Southern 500. I think that team is going to figure things out eventually. Before they get into the playoffs or the chase. Not back. I can't even say that's a tongue twister right there. Not Matt the Benedetto. The problem with these shields is that some of them are good dudes like Mamba. It's cool, but when it comes to opinions, he is completely brain dead. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they're not bad people. It's just it's annoying when that they they'll say anything to defend NASCAR. It's irritating, man. Um, Goes to show how out of touch NASCAR is with its hardcore fans. Um, yep. Cars Boy 95. Ride the please no. I'm sick of that commercial, yo. I'm sick of that commercial. Fuck that commercial. And you know what's funny? I put that tweet out saying I hate that commercial, and then a day later, Adam Stern put out a tweet saying that yeah, Chili's they commercial is, driving interest and all that. And I'm just like, of course. Like that's good for them, but I still hate that commercial. So, the Rada Dente, because if Fox didn't go to commercial so damn much, and they play that commercial every time they go to commercial break. I miss when NASCAR commercials were actually cool and like cool as hell, and um they were funny and everything. You get those every now and then. Like, you don't get those. You used to get that pretty often back in the day, and now you don't. So, um, JC, when you said you've been to Michigan, that's a track I eventually plan to go to maybe in a couple of years. Got plans for Darlington, Charlotte, Rockingham, New Hampshire, Dover, and Kansas. Yeah, all of those are on my bucket list as well. I'm starting a lot right now. Um, Yeah, you're gonna enjoy Michigan. The only track that they do like 200 miles per hour at now, which is unfortunate. But yeah, all those tracks you just named, especially Rockingham. I'm going to go to Rockingham one day. I don't know when, but if it's an Xfinity race, truck race, hopefully, the Cup Series is back there. Rockingham weekend, by the way, was a success. I was very happy with the racing for what for a repave. The racing was not bad at all because I thought that they was gonna be locked down to the bottom and nobody was gonna be able to pass, but the groove widened out and I was surprised. So uh just be patient with that track and it's gonna continue to widen out, it's gonna continue to wear and eventually tires are gonna matter again. So I just hope people be patient with that track. Like that was a both races were great, man. We saw some fuel mileage races. We saw some great racing in the Xfinity, great racing in trucks as well. Like I was so happy. That place still needs a lot of work if they want to put on a cup event. Um, so I hope they continue to like renovate that place so it can be cup ready one day. Still needs some safer barriers. Um, and other things. So, yeah, I was driving past Chicago today. Chicagoland Speedway, or just you just in Chicago in general. Um, that's by the way, Chicagoland is heavily rumored to be back on the schedule. In the Cup Series next year, hopefully. It's that track is being kept up with. By the way, um, we need to get side by side during this stream because Artie wanted to give us one final message before he left. Yeah, I still don't think I know he's gone down from Fox, but I don't think he's gonna with him leaving, I don't think he's gonna make a huge difference. Now that I think about it. So, um, thank God Fox is gone early this year. They've been awful this year. They're awful every year. They found a new way to just, you know, how can we be worse than last year, like the previous year? Um, Nicholas, yeah, it's like we don't know what we want for NASCAR to fix the car and get rid of the winning you're in stuff. Uh, so far it looks like a mix between ignition and graphics, but Heat 5 and others and iRacing and the tracks themselves. I guess that's a good way of putting it, Danny. Um, um, because it is some shots, of NASCAR 25, you be looking like, man, that looks very similar to NASCAR 21. Like, you look at this view right now, this cockpit view, this kind of looks like um NASCAR Heat 5 in a way. Um, so it's just like, yeah, that it kind of looks like NASCAR Heat 5 in a way. The tracks, I think the best looking part of the game is the tracks. Like the tracks look really good. I hope you could adjust the cockpit view, and I wonder how many like camera views we're gonna have in general on that game. But yeah, it's kind of hard to judge right now. We just need some gameplay. NASCAR 25 Dev Door Diary was a huge nothing burger. For the most part, yeah, kinda. Um, Cars Boy, yo, hey, look at that. Oh, I must have missed something. They showed when I was playing the Dev Diary. Did they show something? I think I'm my bad. I'm kind of lost right now. Um, let's see. I'm trying not to keep you guys here too long. Not to mention, I'm starting to stutter a lot more because I've been sitting here for an hour and a half just talking. But I hope to go to Atlanta in June, which can hopefully be the race where Larson finally wins a super speedway since he's really improved with that type of racing. Yeah, that would be nice. I hope you enjoy your I hope you can end up going because Atlanta is pretty damn good for what it is. And yeah, hopefully Larson can he almost won there earlier in the spring. So yeah, he Larson, he's turned into a solid play racer. He just don't get the results, and his results make it look like he's the worst play racer ever. The Iceberg does that too on the NASCAR Weekly podcast. Um, I'm sorry, what does he do? What does he do? I'm so far behind in the chat. My apologies for that. I've been getting on tangents tonight. NASCAR 25 kind of has ignition graphics, which isn't bad, and the graphics were one of the only good things about NASCAR 21. Literally, the only good thing about NASCAR 21. Other than that, once you load that game up, your car is going right through the track. And once you loading up in the track, uh, man, I'm so glad. Even if that game was free, I would not even bother. Uh, I'm worried about NASCAR 25. Not gonna lie, we haven't got any gameplay. It looks a lot like NASCAR 21 Ignition. I'm ready for the downfall. Uh, the further we go, like in NASCAR 2011, Key Evolution, Ignition. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer about it either, but until we get some gameplay, I am going to continue to be kind of pessimistic about the game. Now, if they show some gameplay, I'm seeing some good shit, you know, then I'll start to the excitement for me will start to ramp up. And I feel like everybody else will probably feel the same because I think everybody's on pins and needles right now. Yes, it's iRacing that's developing this game, but that doesn't mean I'm about to just kick my feet up and be like, "Oh, they got this, man. They're gonna do a great job with this. So, oh yeah, okay, I know what y'all talking about now. Y'all, when I was highlighting the comments earlier, I'm slow, man. I'm slow. Yeah, I'm, I'm tweaking. The 2023 NASCAR season was so forgettable. It kind of was in a way. Um, I don't remember too much from that season as well. Um, Adolf Hitler had millions of followers back in his day, but sure, Kenny Wallace. Uh, Sorry, Kenny Wallace, that I only have 16 followers. My brother isn't Rusty Wallace. Y'all funny as hell. Um, Presentation looks nice, but but next we need gameplay. I don't want it in like a month before the game releases. Yeah, hopefully, because I've seen some people on Twitter saying that like, man, be patient. We're gonna get our gameplay soon. It's really early. That's just me. That's just me wanting to feel good about this game early on. I feel like if you show gameplay now, and it doesn't have to be like a 10-minute, 15-minute clip. Like if you could just show like 3 minutes of gameplay and it looks good, that will kind of like not make me as nervous. Excuse me. So yeah, when I saw screenshots of NASCAR 25, I immediately got ignition flashbacks. I really hope it's not ignition 2.0. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people, that's a theme right now. It seems like a lot of people are kind of getting ignition vibes. That's not good because of how the way the game looks, I guess. But yeah, let's hope it's not like that though. It is on Unreal, so that's why the graphics are similar. Driving in the garage was maybe the only good part about Ignition. Yeah, I remember that. Too bad that the rest of the game was broken. Speedometer looks like shit. See, now that's something I don't really care about. I just want the game to work, and I want the car to feel realistic, and I want the AI to work, and have an immersive career mode. So, um, Jesus Christ. Let's see, let's see. Um, Honestly, what's up, Alex? Honestly, if the gameplay is good, the rest of the detail seems good. Even if it's not the highest resolution, there's a reason people still go back to the old E8 games in 2025. I'm one of those people. I go back and play NASCAR Thunder 2004 a lot, and you know, so that just proves that graphics don't really mean a whole lot to me. As long as the game is fun itself, that's all that matters. Um, I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna get ready for tomorrow as I go to Texas Motor Speedway for the whole weekend. Oh damn! All right, Chase. I hope you have a good one, man. Like, uh, it's gonna be better than Talladega. I guarantee that. So I'm gonna try to speed run through these because I'm gonna probably wrap it up soon. Um, Once again, I appreciate you guys coming out, man. That's really appreciated. I don't, but I respect your opinion. I guess you talk about Larson. Yeah, yeah. It's I appreciate that. You know, it's people that like Joy Logano that follow me, and I don't like Joy Logano. So, um, addicted to speed. The only thing I'm really worried about with NASCAR 25 is the graphics engine known as Unreal Engine. It may look nice, but it's known that it's not very well optimized and not good for racing games. Um, I might have to look more into that. If that's true, then I mean, I don't know what to believe at this point. I mean, we'll see. Um, hopefully, hopefully they could just have like a solid foundation. They can build a solid foundation and just build from there. Hopefully, Larson will actually complete the double and not the single. That was so miserable last year. Like I look forward, I look forward so much to the greatest day in racing, which is Monaco, which I know a lot of people don't care about. The Indy 500 and of course the Coca Cola 600. And I think the only race that got in that day fully was the Monaco Grand Prix for F1, and Indy 500 rained, and then they got half of the 600 in, and that ended up being a rain out. That was just terrible last year. Larson couldn't complete his double. He sped on pit road, which wasn't his fault. It was something going on with his brake that caused him to speed. He couldn't get the car to slow down. Um, yeah, man, like that was terrible last year. I hope so. I hope the weather cooperates this year so Larson can do the double. Fingers crossed. I like Junior's idea. I do too. Hopefully NASCAR can listen, but they probably won't. I really like Junior's idea. It's good. Just please just don't have Talladega in those final few races. Something tells me they're gonna do that in the future. In the future, though, so strikes a good balance between legitimacy and entertainment. Yeah, kind of like the original chase format from 2004 to about 2013. When it comes to Junior's idea, the green, I can't even say it. The Greensboro rail fan. I know you played NASCAR Thunder 2004 a lot. I can relate. However, I played NASCAR the game inside line a lot since that's my personal favorite NASCAR game. Yeah, I just feel like that if they had like better AI and like a more immersive career mode when it came to that game, I felt like I probably would have played it a lot more because the physics was really good on that game. And then they had a lot of the little details they did they did pretty well with. So it was just the AI was just terrible. And then not to mention the online was pretty bad too. A lot of like surging, uh, the whole bubble deal. Okay. I'm about to speed things up 'cause I'm falling apart right now, man. I'm stuttering. It's hour and 43 minutes into this. Um JC with the super chat, man. I appreciate that so much, man. Full season points format is outdated for NASCAR because it's American and expensive. They're bending over backwards and give brands infinite exposure. Um, um, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I just disagree with them saying, people saying that um it's outdated. I don't know. And then you said every decision they make is a tribute to this TV deals, race regulations, championship format. Okay, so NBC, I heard that. So they got this panel going on talking about the championship format, and I heard that there's people that's for it, and I heard that the main, NBC is like the main reason why it's not happening. NBC doesn't want to see a full season points format. They want to keep the playoffs. So as much as I like NBC's coverage, screw them if this is true because um they're the ones that wants the playoffs to be a thing. So it's weird though because they got all these. It's pretty clear that the playoffs doesn't work, and they decide to stick with it anyway. So why stick with something that doesn't really pull in the good TV numbers and ratings? It's been proven too many times. So um, you see it sometimes with reporters and critics in the movie industry. If you want access to directors, studios, early previews, and etc., you better be mostly positive. I couldn't sell my soul to be in that position to where I just gotta constantly kiss ass to the corporation I'm working for. There's no way. Um, I feel like I said in my video before, they don't have to do that, but they just because not everybody in the industry does that, but you got that group that loves to do it, and it's annoying. Darcy, you said always feel like to me Bubba Wallace is the most underrated driver. Boyer seems to hate him. Harvick seems to be the only one to give him credit. He's my favorite driver. What's your thoughts? Um, yeah, Bubba, he's been improving, but he has to win this year. Tyler Reddick, he's been winning. In 2311, the 2 years that he's been with 2311, he's been winning. Like Bubba, he just needs to win. He needs to make the playoffs without being on that cut line. Those days need to be over with. He's having a much better year so far, but he needs to do more. He needs to go out there and lead some laps and contend for wins more. He has the equipment. He just needs to start making things happen. Um, he's not, there's people out there that's going to talk shit about him, uh, saying that he's the worst driver ever and all that. Obviously people got personal, they let their personal feelings get in the way and they don't actually look at his performance and all that. Anyway, yeah, he is underrated, but uh, he just needs to. So far, he's off to a good start. He just needs to have a season to where he gets a win or two, and hopefully he can make somewhat of a deep playoff run, and start showing that he's a little bit more legit. Like he's legit. So I'm constantly waiting for Bubba to like take that next step. Now, like I said, he's off to a good start, but which is not normal of Bubba Wallace. So usually he doesn't get off to the best start. So hopefully he can just continue to go in the right direction and get better throughout the year. NASCAR commercial breaks used to be good. Now it's just Liberty Mutual and Ride the Dente, Kill Me, Bush. The Chastain one is actually funny and something like Progressive or Toyota. Yeah, I actually like the Ross Chastain Bush commercial. I get like a little chuckle out of it. Yeah, Liberty Mutual and these same five commercials we see all the time. Back in the day, you used to get like 30 NASCAR commercials that would air during a race. Now you just see those same five commercials. Rockingham is great, highly recommended. Cup needs to stay the hell away until they get the new car though. Here's the thing, like I still want them to go to Rockingham, even with the car being ass. But that's just that's just me though. I get what people saying though. I just want to see the Cup Series back at Rockingham so bad. Went to the Xfinity Rockingham race was a fun time. Wish they had a scoring pylon. Yeah, that's something that's part of the thing that they need to that's one of the things they need to add. They just need to continue to, renovate that place and make it, cup ready one day. Ben Kennedy talked about them possibly taking the Cup Series back there in a couple of years, depending if they can continue to support the Xfinity and Truck Series, which I hope we all do. Tune into that race, continue to attend that race. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the schedule next year for the Xfinity and Truck Series. So yeah, we just got to continue to support it. I feel like Rockingham Cup race would be crappy. I think for now it should be a standalone race. I get what y'all saying. I get it. As much as I would love to see the Cup Series back, the lack of a lack of a pylon was by far the biggest issue. I must admit. Yeah, I seen a lot of fan footage, and it did look like pretty naked out there, and it's kind of hard to keep up with like who's where and all that. So yeah, that kind of sucks. I miss Chicagoland so much, man. I do too. I do too. If it's on the schedule next year, that's gonna be one of the races I'm definitely going to next year. So whenever they confirm it, I'm going right to their website. um, do you see Chase Elliott being a 2 to 3 time champion and having more than 44 wins? I can see it happening if he can be able to seal the deal throughout his career. Yeah, I know that he's been kind of on a slump lately. He's not doing bad, and Chase Elliott fans will make it seem like that he's running 25th every week, like he's having an '09 Dale Earnhardt Jr. type season when you know he's running back half of the top 10. He's not leading laps. It can be worse. So, um, yeah, I feel like he can get there, especially if he starts to ramp back up again. Kind of like how he was throughout that 2020 to 2022 period. Then yeah, like when he's going out there leading laps and stuff. Um, then yeah. But I think if he continues to be like this, because I'm pretty sure some people, Hadaway Jr. fired off his career. Because you hope that Chase Elliott doesn't slow down all of a sudden and he end up becoming that guy that wins like one race a year, or he can barely get 2 wins a season or something like that. Because I remember, like, I'm comparing him to Dale Jr. Like Dale Jr., he started off his career strong. He was winning like 2 to 4 races a year. Had that 6 win season in 2004. Then after that, he it was hard for him to win a damn race. And he just kind of slowed down throughout his career. He had that resurgence from 2011 to 2015, but he ended up with only 26 career wins. So Chase Elliott, I think he's at like 18 right now. So um if he can, get it going again, then yeah. But if he doesn't, then I don't know. Championships, I'm not really paying attention to because of how the way the system is. I don't know. The AI and physics were made completely from scratch by iRacing and graphical. The graphical engine is the exact same one used in Ignition, and the UI will be made mainly by Monster Games. Um, the UI does look kind of, like something from NASCAR Heat games. Yeah, see, this is why I tweet. That's it. You said that no, it's when you started putting the messages on the screen. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I ain't gonna lie. Uh, I hope I'm saying your name right. Levi. I'm just gonna call you Levi. You said hello. What's going on? Uh, yeah. I'm not that far behind with the chat at this point. Yeah, so I'm gonna stay on here for 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna end it. Uh, it's been nice talking to you guys. This is gonna be the new type of thing. I'm gonna be on Streamyard. This is cool. Thank you all for the super chats. I feel like a quality streamer in a way. Like this is so cool to just highlight y'all y'all messages and stuff. Tyler Orn Productions. Today's a good day when Elite Precision posts my girl's Shepherd got loose, and I still had that stream playing in my pocket, trying to find his ass in the dark. Hey, what you got going on over there? Damn. I wish the NASCAR modified tour with real drivers, not fancy drivers, and the tracks were in it. Unlike in 2005. Yeah, they probably added next year in NASCAR 26. I think the modifiers will be kind of cool to have. Um, I almost forgot that they got ARCA in NASCAR 25. Like that's how slow the news have been. I hope with ARCA I don't know. I wish they could release like the track list. Um, because I want to know if we can have some of the local tracks that they go to, but I don't know if they're gonna have them though. I doubt it. So I would love to have like a if they can get like a track like Salem, for example, into the game, can y'all make like a fantasy version of it and try to get it to close as y'all can to the real life track? Because Salem is like one of my favorite racetracks. Like one of my favorite short tracks. That track looks so fun to like it's so fun to watch, and I'm pretty sure it's like a hell of a time to race on. And but I doubt if they laser scan and all that. I'm pretty sure that track is not laser scan. So if they can create like a fantasy version of that track, that'd be kind of cool. The pre-race stuff was good too. Yeah, like if they can have like I said, the presentation is important. Um NASCAR Thunder 2004 did it so well, and hopefully with NASCAR 25 they can kind of match that, or if they can get close to it. We'll see. I just care about that gameplay right now. Have you ever met any NASCAR drivers at the times you went to a NASCAR race? No, but I walked past Carson Hocevar at IRP. Like I literally walked right past him, didn't say anything to him. Um, I don't know why I didn't say anything to him. Me and my brother just walked right past him. Um, he looked kind of busy, so that's why I didn't really say anything. But yeah, I'm a little shy, so that's another thing. So I don't know. Uh, I walked past Austin Cindric at Michigan last year, which was kind of funny. Richard Petty drove past me and my brother in a golf cart one time and waved at us, so that was kind of cool. I haven't had no conversations with drivers. I just walked past a few drivers, and like me and Austin Cedric, we just made like we looked at each other, and that was it. Just kept it pushing. So I know it's kind of random, but it's I never really stopped by and had a conversation with a driver. Um, It'll be cool though. It'd be cool to get like a picture with them one day. Like I said, I'm late to a lot of things. Like I've been watching NASCAR since 2001 and never been to a NASCAR race until 2022. I know it's weird. We just never got out there until just a couple years ago. So, what's your favorite NASCAR season? Mine is the 2011 season. 2011 is up there for me as well. Um, I really like 2000 outside of being a Junior fan. I like 2005. Uh I it's probably gonna be unpopular, but 2008 was pretty interesting to me. I know that you had the big three with Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, and Carr was winning, but I like that championship fight, even though Carr was kind of he really didn't have a chance by the end of the season. 2007 was fun. I like 2012. That's another one that's a lot of people probably won't name, but that was that championship fight between Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson, especially when they was clashing. That was fun. I feel like the 2012 season is kind of underrated. 2014, obviously, it's hard to pick my favorite season. 2004 was pretty good. Um, those are some of my favorite seasons though. Since I've been watching. Um, yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna read five more messages and I'm gonna end it because I'm getting tired, y'all. I, I'm pretty sure y'all can tell. Like I'm. This is crazy. I worked 8.5 hours today, damn near 9 hours. So yeah. Probably won't happen, but I would love to see Rodney Childers go to Elias crew chief. Um, no man, you got to keep Alan Gustafson, man. Let me stop. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Rodney said, from what I heard, Rodney what he wants to get back on the pit box, but it's kind of weird though because he was like one of the main guys that was talking about how you can't really do anything with his car. So I would like to think that he would just take on like a different role. Maybe he'll get into the media. I don't know, but whoever ends up with Rodney Childers, that's still a good thing, despite him not being the best with the Gen 7 car. So, um, stream has been good. Only issue is you seem to be behind the chat, but you're new to StreamYard, so I can't fault you. Yeah, I'm not like, uh I'm not the best when it comes to like keeping up with the chat and everything. So my apologies for that. Um that's because I'll be getting on tangents and then I finally start catching up and end up being so far behind. So, I'm pretty sure some of you guys y'all tune into like Eric and them and Iceberg and some of these other guys that's used to streaming, even though sometimes they don't read all the every single uh chat message because they get way more viewers. Like it's impossible for them to keep up with that anyway. Because if I had like 100 people in here right now and it was just a lot of people just putting messages and I couldn't keep up with it, there's no way that I'm about to read all those messages off as well. Like so I'll read some off every now and then, but reading every single uh chat, that would be a nightmare. You'd be sitting there all day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Heat games, did they have fantasy drivers in the Dirt series? Correct. Um, yeah, most of them were. Yeah, I think most of them were fantasy drivers. I think they had Tony Stewart in one game in the Dirt series. But other than that, though, they have like a bunch of generic drivers, if I'm not mistaken. Some fantasy drivers. Salem, Toledo, IRP. I would love to see in a new game for ARCA. I think we can probably get IRP, but Toledo and Salem, like I was saying, I love those tracks, but hopefully they can come out with like a fantasy version of those tracks. Um, NASCAR Crash Fan 2010 said NASCAR need to get the Gen 7 to be better. We all agree. Preach. I was gonna name my 2012 as my favorite season. First season I ever remember watching. Yeah, like I said, I love 2012. Junior, he finally snapped his winless streak, which is a big reason why I like that season. Um, you had like I said, the championship fight between Brad and Jimmy Johnson. You had that brawl between Clint Boyer and Jeff Gordon. Um, that Talladega race at the end, there was four deep. The crazy Daytona 500 with the jet dryer deal, like that was crazy. I felt like the racing was pretty solid that year too. So um, it was a step down from 2011, but it was still pretty damn good though. Elliott hasn't Chase Elliott hasn't Kevin. First of all, let me read your name. Kevin Harvick is very not happy. Come on, man, with this damn profile picture you got of who's that? Brad Keselowski. It look funny as hell. Chase Elliott hasn't fallen off. He's still consistent. That's what I'm saying. He's not bad. Um, he's a step down from where he was from 2020 to 2022. That's what I was trying to say earlier. NASCAR 2012 Cup is underrated. Yep. I hope the presentation for NASCAR 25 is like NASCAR Thunder 2004. I hope it is too. If I can barrel roll pre-style in NASCAR 25, it's automatically a good game. uh, yeah, that'll be hopefully so. You already know if the physics are pretty good, people will be doing some crazy shit. Uh 2002, 2004, 2007, 2011, 2012, and 2014 were all great. I forgot to mention 2002. I just got done watching that season not that long ago too. Um, what a great championship fight, man. Uh, favorite season I watched. I became a fan in 2013. It's 2014. Yeah, people love 2014. That was the last year of having, um, the cars be unrestricted and had a lot of fights that year. A lot of crazy moments. Uh, have a good night. Great stream. All right, Darcy, you have a good one too, man. Yeah, I'm about to finish it up these last bit of messages. NASCAR 08 PS3 is a good game. I disagree with that, JC. Um, PS2, PS3, that game is that game is not good, man. That was like the first NASCAR game where I was like really, really disappointed in. Like I was just sitting there looking like, man, what the fuck is this, yo? Like this is not good. And then the PS3 version was worse. So um yeah, I couldn't get into NASCAR 8. Oh, favorite season I must admit is 2013. That's shocking because a lot of people don't really care for 2013. I feel like the racing that year was pretty decent. I feel like the play package that year was, meh. Um, yeah, that was like a year where I just kind of it was kind of forgettable. I ain't gonna lie. 2010 is underrated. Yeah, 2010. The battle between Jimmy and Denny and Harvick lurking in the background for the championship. Um, yeah. So the worst NASCAR games are NASCAR 08, Heat Evolution, 21 Ignition. You're right. And then the last comment, unless y'all put some more down, NASCAR Ace flips look like the car is dragging into the deepest depths of the underworld. Yeah, that NASCAR 08 and NASCAR 09 had like some weird like physics, man. Like I never got a chance to play the PS3 version of those two games. I had 08 and 09 on the PS2, but I watched like a lot of videos of the PS3 version. It just looks so odd. So yeah. Yeah, screw NASCAR 8. I would never touch that game again. I honestly don't care about the new game unless it has an option to switch between console physics and NR 2003 slash iRacing physics and handling. That means you're not gonna like the new game then, because I don't know if that's gonna happen. But yeah, hopefully the physics are good. I mean, if iRacing is making it, then I would like to think it will, but we just gotta see, man. I actually did a video on NASCAR 9. It's better than NASCAR 8 on PS3 not that long ago. I gotta check it out, Chase. So that's gonna be it, y'all. 2 hours and 10 minutes into this. I appreciate it so much. Um, man, I'm tired. Hopefully, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you for the super chats. Hopefully this was a better experience instead of doing this shit on the PlayStation using my crappy, well, not crappy, but using the PlayStation microphone, and all that. So I was gonna try to record a video, the rest of the video that I got coming soon. Only got 2 pages left of that, but I'm about to go to sleep. So uh y'all have a good one. Thank you so much. And yeah, like I'll do this again. We can do this again sometime on soon. So y'all have a good one and y'all have a good one and peace.